Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa. I'm the owner and artist here at the Top Drawer RVA located in Richmond, Virginia. Today we're going to work together to create a beautiful vanity. And this is kind of an important project for me because this vanity is going to be donated to a local nonprofit that supports single mothers and children getting back out on their own here in my local community. So stay with me, let's have some fun and paint it beautiful with Dixie Belle paint products. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the plan for this piece. The only recommendation that I received from the nonprofit was that this beautiful woman loves a lot of color, which is great because I love color too. So she has chosen the color purple for this vanity. We have a chair, we have the vanity. I'm going to be replacing some mirrors on the inside. So my choice for this project is going to be the beautiful Floral Romance Transfer from Dixie Belle. It has some really gorgeous purple, pink, and white flowers, and we're going to accent it with the new Silkscreen Stencil. This is also from the Dixie Belle Bells and Whistles line, and it has these really cute little butterflies. So we are going to do a lot of stuff today. Get ready to have some fun. When preparing any item for paint, you must inspect it thoroughly for damages and make your proper repairs before you start. You also need to clean your project well with white lightning. Structurally, this vanity was in very good shape. I tightened the legs on the bottom and reattached the front panel to the piece. Take the time with your proper preparation before paint to make sure that your item is completely sturdy and ready for paint. You don't want to start and then realize you have to fix something halfway through. After removing the original hardware, I filled the holes with Dixie Belle's mud. Mud comes in 3 colors, black, brown, and white. Since I'll be painting over this mud when it's dry, it does not matter what color I use. I filled the holes, waited till dry, and sanded back until flat. This vanity had a small seat. I removed the top with my drill and put it aside to be recovered later. This vanity had a shiny-like surface to it, almost like a plastic coating. Since I paint indoors in my own home, I use Slick Stick often. Slick Stick is a gripper and a primer for shiny or slick surfaces. I applied 2 even coats to the surface, waiting for it to dry for 24 hours before paint. Using Slick Stick as my gripping primer reduces the need to sand inside my own home. This way, I am ensured that my paint will stick to the surface. It is important to wait 2 to 4 hours in between coats of Slick Stick. And remember, you do need to wait 24 hours before you apply your paint. Let's paint this piece a beautiful purple. I started out with Aubergine all around the edges, moving into Plum Crazy. Since this paint is going on top of my Slick Stick, I will require a couple more coats to cover the white surface. Keeping a separate paintbrush for each color, I applied the Aubergine all the way up the legs to the base of the table. I then applied the Plum Crazy in the middle. Once this initial first coat has dried, I can blend them together using my spray misting bottle filled with water. There's a couple of ways to achieve a really easy ombre finish. You can use your synthetic brushes with your misting bottle and pull the colors together, or you can use your Best Dang brush. The Best Dang brush gives a more cloudy surface to the feel of the piece. Don't forget the bottom edges. People will see the bottom of the legs and the bottom of the dresser. Make sure to take the extra few minutes to coat that area with paint. Let's add some detail to the front of this piece. I'm going to apply Woodubend. The number I'm using today is Woodubend number 1337. I love Woodubend products. The fact that you can bend it and mold it to any surface really saves the day when you're working on a curved area. Woodubends are made out of actual wood. You can paint them before you put them on your project or after. You can even sneak peek the Woodubend that's behind me in this video on my own armoire. I covered the entire Woodubend molding with my Golden Gem gemstone mousse. I wanted to protect my work before I started in on my stencils and transfers. Using my satin clear coat and my blue sponge, I applied it to the entire surface of the vanity. Drilling my holes before I apply my transfers and stencils helps me gauge where the hardware is going to sit versus where I'm applying my stencils and transfers. So it's a great idea to do this before you begin. So now we're at the fun part of the project. Applying a transfer is one of my most favorite things to do. I like the ability to cut them up, layer them, distress them, and do all sorts of fabulous things on my furniture. So let's talk a little bit about what a transfer is and how you apply it. All right, let's begin. So what is a transfer? Well, a transfer is this really cute little package that you're gonna get right here, and inside there's going to be sheets, all right? So each sheet has an image on it. Each sheet has a backing sheet and then the image sheet. You're going to learn how to burnish them down onto your furniture. There's no halo, it's not like a sticker, it's totally different. If you haven't tried a transfer yet for your furniture, you're really gonna love it. So what is inside a transfer? Let's open one up and learn a little bit about it, shall we? So when you open your transfer tube, it's sent in a tube so that it's protected. This is a nice hard container so that your transfer is not going to get folded or mashed or anything that you don't want to happen. It's perfectly safe in these little tubes. Inside each tube is going to be a little packet. You don't do anything with this, just discard it where you're supposed to. Don't eat it. It says right on there, don't eat it. Keep it somewhere safe. That's going to keep your moisture out of your transfer. Transfers don't like moisture, all right? You're also going to get a little stick, and this is called a burnishing tool. This is the thing that you're going to use to apply the transfer to your furniture. Then, of course, you have your instruction sheet and your images. The transfer we're going to use today is called Floral Romance. It's really pretty. It's got bright, beautiful flowers, and we're going to put them all over this little vanity. Each sheet is wrapped up in a little roll along with your instruction sheet telling you how to use your transfer. I like to cut up my images, so I'm going to open this up, roll it out, decide where I'm going to place them. We're going to cut them up and put them down on our vanity. Aren't they pretty? After cutting out your image, peel off the white backing sheet. Put the image down onto your surface. I like to smooth it with my hands before I begin burnishing it off with a small wooden tool. Continue cutting and placing your flowers till you get the entire surface covered to where you're happy with your piece. Now I'm ready to apply my Woodubend molding. Since I've already painted my Woodubend molding in my gemstone mousse, I flip it upside down and heat up the back with a heat gun. Once you have warmed up your molding, you'll find that it's bendable and pliable. You then add your wood glue to the back of the molding, spreading it around with a small paintbrush if that helps. You're now ready to stick your Woodubend molding onto your surface. Push it down onto the surface, and then you can use a piece of tape to hold it steady. You're going to want to heat up your molding again just to ensure that it's flat to the surface. This also helps the glue stick on very well. Okay, inside every silkscreen package you're going to get 3 pieces of paper. Each paper has different images on it that you can use to apply to your piece. These are great for furniture, any arts and crafts. They're kind of like a smaller size, so you can layer them and build them with transfers. I really like it. You're also going to get this little tool. This is kind of a plastic hard tool that you're going to use when you're applying your silkscreen stencil. So let's pretend that you're putting this silkscreen stencil down onto your project. You would dip this into your paint and you would pull your paint across this silkscreen stencil, pushing the paint through the net onto your piece. Got it? Sound kind of fun? It is. It's a lot of fun. So today what we're going to do is add these little butterflies to our project, and I'm going to show you what I use instead of that little tool to apply my silkscreen stencil paint, because I like to push the paint through this mesh screen. You can see the mesh right there and get a really crisp line. Sometimes when I use this plastic tool that they have inside the box, it does a little bit more of a heavy application, which to me can lead to bleed through. So I like to use these little dollar store foam applicator pads to push my paint through. Ready? Let's go. Since the back of the stencil is sticky, I like to cut out the image before I begin. Once I have the image that I'm ready to use, I peel it off of the backing and put it down onto the piece. Smooth it gently with your fingers. I like to use a foam applicator pad to apply my paint or my gemstone mousse to the project. I find using this small applicator tool really helps me push and mash the paint through that very faint silkscreen stencil, giving you a really nice precise edge. Silkscreen stencils are washable and reusable up to 10 times. Immediately after use, take your stencil to your sink and wash it with a scrubby soap and warm water. This will help remove any paint that might be stuck inside the delicate mesh screen. Let's add just a little bit more shine. Gilding wax is one of my favorite things to put onto a project. Since it's an oil-based product, you can apply this last after you've sealed your project. When I received this vanity, the original mirror was actually broken and cracked. I removed it before I began cleaning up any of the glass. Once I've cleaned off that area and removed all the sticky tape, I was able to add on a new mirror that I purchased at a local craft store. I really like to add fur seats to all of these whimsical, fun little pieces. The fur you can purchase at your local craft store, cut it to size, and adhere it with your staple gun. After installing the knobs, I was ready to stage. Here we go. I have a very big closet full of tons of beautiful items, all there just for me to take really pretty pictures. This beautiful made-over vanity is going to be donated to a local nonprofit group called A Sisters Loved here in Richmond, Virginia. This wonderful local organization helps single mothers and children get back on their feet. I'm really happy to provide them with such a beautiful piece of furniture, hopefully brightening somebody's day. Thank you for following along on my painting journey. It was a pleasure to have you join me, and I hope that you also do something wonderful for a local organization close to you and in your own neighborhood.